Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It has been quite a while. I've been pretty busy with school and stuff, but Dragon's Rising Season 3 is coming out soon, and I'm honestly very excited for it. At this point, we've had a couple teasers and trailers for the season, as well as the sets which have been released for some time, and it's safe to say we know a bit about the season and what to expect. And in today's video, I want to discuss my top 5 hopes for Dragon's Rising Season 3. Let's kick off by discussing Morrow, who was the villain in a season that released a decade ago, but he's set to return in Dragon's Rising Season 3, as shown in the sets. The question is, how of course this is gonna happen. Ninjago bringing back previous villains is something I'm very wary of, so maybe this is more of a concern than a hope. In any case, what I don't want to happen is for Morrow's character to be ruined, as was the case with Ruby. Morrow had a very strong conclusion and redemption, and I really want this to be upheld. This is something the show did successfully with him in Day of the Departed. My hope is that they use Morrow's character to explain the Departed realm, which is a pretty big mystery of the show. How do dead people interact with the rest of the realms in Dragon's Rising? Given that Morrow is, of course, dead, this would be a great opportunity to explain how the Departed realm interacts with the other merged realms, which is something I'm sure the showrunners have thought of, but haven't yet had the chance to explain. I think this is their chance, and I really hope they use it. Next up, I hope Zayn has a big role in the season. The last season gave Kai a big role, and it was his best season in years. It's time for the show to do the same with Zayn now. It's no secret that for the last 5 years or so, Zayn's character has been pretty stale. But there might be hope. Zayn is the mascot character of the season, and he's appeared a fair amount in the promotional material, and I don't know if that means anything, but I sure hope it does. What's also interesting is that Pixal is supposed to return to the season, which is going to be exciting as she's been gone for a couple of years. And I think with her back, there's a lot of potential for a very interesting story with them. I'd also like to learn what happened to Zayn after the merge. We never really learned after Season 1, but at least according to the trailer, it looks like the same thing might have happened to Pixal. And this could be really interesting to learn about, finally. But overall, after seeing how the show revitalized Kai's character last year, I have a lot of faith that they could do the same for Zayn if they just give him focus. And I hope that's what they do this season. Moving on to another ninja, I hope this is the season that concludes Jay's story. We have seen what happened to Jay over the last few years. He's been isolated from the team, he lost his memories, and now after Season 2, he's wandered off on his own. According to the promotional material, Jay becomes this agent known as Rogue, and I think this is a super interesting route for him to take. We've seen him just overall lost, and he doesn't really know his place over these last few seasons. But I think this is the season for that story to conclude. Dragon's Rising has so far told a great long-term story with him. We've learned bits and pieces about his story here and there, but nothing too major yet. I think this is the season where we really should see more of him, especially now that the ninja know what happened to him and Nia is presumably going to be searching for him. I think inevitably Jay is going to rejoin the team, and this would be the right season for him to do so. They have told a great long-term story so far, the pacing has been solid, but this isn't the most important or most pressing story in the show, and this would be the right place to wrap it up. I'm very, very excited for Arin and Ras's dynamic. It was probably the best part of Season 2, and it's going to continue here. An evil ninja story in this kind of sense is not something we've seen from the show. We've never seen a story where a ninja willingly leaves the team, and certainly not for this amount of time. And there is so much potential here. I'm especially interested in this teacher-student relationship, and what kind of stuff Ras is going to be teaching Arin, and how that's going to change him. And I'm also looking for, at what point does Arin realize that he made a mistake? At what point does he realize that Ras is wrong? That's going to be super interesting to see. And also, of course, Ras is this show's best villain in a long time. He has had some defeats in this last few seasons, and he's not really the main threat anymore. So I wonder, what is his goal here, and what kind of role will he be playing in the season? I'm super excited for that. This is a very unique story for the show, and given what we've seen so far, there's a lot to be excited for. My biggest hope is related to this season's new villains. The Forbidden Five in Season 2 were developed as very mysterious, and I'm excited to see more of them in this season, and more of their individual characters too. This season is also set to introduce Thunderfang, who as far as I know is the first evil dragon the show has had. I'm really excited to see a dragon as a villain this time. I'd also learn more about Thunderfang's backstory. The overall idea is that he wanted to be a source dragon but was denied, and as a consequence was banished. I think this is such a cool idea for a villain, and I'm so excited to see how it plays out in the show. But I'm also interested in what his greater goal is. The Forbidden Five are working with him to understand the source of their power, but what is Thunderfang's goal here? I'm excited to see how he shapes up into a bigger threat, and how he interacts with the Source Dragons as well. Maybe he goes after them. And also as a prediction, the Forbidden Five are definitely getting betrayed by him. So that'll be interesting to see too. What I like about Dragons Rising is the show has had a lot of different villains who aren't necessarily on the same team. We've seen a lot of different villains with totally different goals. Thunderfang is going to be an addition to that list, and I'm very excited to see that happen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know, and I'm hoping to review the season when it releases next month, so stay tuned for that. Share your hopes for Season 3 below, and I'll see you guys next time.